Alright guys, so let's start with the next part of our tutorial. So in this tutorial we're going to see how you can parse your documents in Document AI. So basically we'll be taking whole documents and we would be converting them into chunks. So you can download a document on my GitHub, from my GitHub. So as you can see, you can run this part, you can clone, and you should be able to see like this thing. There's this PDF that I've created in here. I've actually got it from outside, so you can see it's just a simple PDF, like some paper about cinnamon, actually, as you can see. So I have no idea what this is, but it's just a random document that I wanted to get some queries from. So you can get the document from here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a document AI processor. Now some of you guys might not know what this thing is. So if I open these resources, you should be able to see. Yeah, so in here a document AI processor is something that lies between the document file, which is our cinnamon file, and a machine learning model that performs the document processing and understandable actions. Basically you can classify, split, and do all these other things. So basically it's the middle part that does all this whole work of creating our documents, like chunks from our documents. We'll be using the split part, obviously, right? So yeah, let's start with that. And you can also find some further documentation as to how do you create a processor. So as you can see, this is a Python code. Basically just create authenticate and create a client and then create parent, and that's how after that you just give everything to the client to create a processor, and that's how you get the processor. So very simple steps. So we're just going to perform these same things in our processor in our document. So first thing, the reason I'm importing date time is because that would help me to get a unique ID. So I'm just importing document AI and client options for authentication purpose. So yeah, we're getting the unique ID. We're setting up location here US. So for processor, it can only be either in US or EU. This is actually a default value. As you can see, even here they say that location, it can only be US and EU. If you go and look at actually their console, and if you go and see the console, and if you go document AI, even here when you create a processor manually, it would ask you for a location, and you can only provide EU or US. By the way, before you run this code that we're about to write, one of the first things you should do is actually you should enable the API of document AI. So it's very easy to enable. Just go click here to enable, and it's gonna enable. Because if you run this code without enabling, obviously this thing is going to fail. So let's first enable this API, and this is only a one-time thing throughout this project. So if you use this thing further, then you can always use this thing without enabling any API. So to create a processor, in here, you just click here, and you give other things. As you can see, you only have two options, and that's fine. So yeah, in here we'll give US as the as the location in here. Processor display name, this is the name that we're going to display. Again, you can name it anything. I'm just using the UID, that way it's a unique name. Processor type, this is again something that you can find in the code, and you can also get other ideas as to which kind of other types of processor you can use. And you can also, I believe they would also have documentation as to what are different types of processors. So yeah, then we'll just use the same thing from the code. We will go and add the authentication, and we'll create a document AI cloud. We'll create the parent, and then we'll have the processor, in which we would be adding the parent, as you can see in here, and then the processor, document AI processor, and other details. The same thing that we have seen in this documentation. We're just copying most of this stuff here from here. Then the next, I'm just going to print it, and we'll get this part in here. So I'm just gonna run it, and you should be able to see, while this thing is running, you should be able to see a processor that would be created in here. As you can see, this is a processor, the same processor that we gave in here. As you can see, yeah, the same processor is created right now in here. As you can see, although this process is created, it is not something that's right now deployed, although this one is deployed. But let's see. This was like we have yet to divide our documents into chunks. So one of the first thing we're going to do is we'll give it the path name. So this is the cinnamon path name, cinnamon PDF that you can see in here. Obviously you can give this path, or you can put this in somewhere in cloud storage, and you can give the path name as well. And yeah, the next thing, you have to specify which type of document it is. So since this is a PDF, so we'll just specify that here. But if you have some other documents, that's also fine. If it is text file or some CSV, that's also fine. We are giving we're writing a function here that would obviously process the documents, and we would be giving all of these details to it. Again, the same thing. If I show you guys how to parse, actually, you know what, let me show you guys how to this other one. I believe that's the so there's a unique way to parse these documents, and all you have to do is you have to refer, you have to like load your document in memory. The next thing you do is load that as a raw document, then just give everything to process. So in here, process option, this would create a kind of a dictionary, a hash table or something that would have all the configurations and everything, all the options. Next part is to create a request. Once you create this request, you have to inside this thing you have to give all of these details, and then you just run that request to the client, and that's how you get the result. And then that's those documents, you return them. So that's how you get the result documents. So we're just going to give everything into this function, and after that we'll have our whole documents in here. By the way, you can also find this code, this part that I'm writing, you can also find this in their official documentation. You just have to spend a little bit of time to find it, but yeah, you can still find it. So let's just see what kind of parsing has happened. So I'm just going to print this, and you can see this is kind of metadata. And if I show you some chunks, and yeah, it went ahead and it did these kind of chunks of our original document. Yeah, so this is how this whole parsing happens. Basically, you just create a processor in the first part, and in the next part you just give all your documents to it, and that's how it's going to create those chunks. And to create these chunks is very simple. Again, you just authenticate, create a document AI client, load those documents as raw, then create some configuration files, create some configurations for it. After that, give it make it a request, and into the request, after that, just process, just make a request, and the result or the response that you get from it, that's where your documents are. And yeah, as you can see, these are all your documents. They are now chopped down, split into chunks. So that's it for this video. I would be adding a additional reference in this part. I'll add one other reference in here that would show you where I took this code from. That way it's easier for you guys to follow along with it, and it's easier for you to understand everything that's going on. So that's it for this video. And in this video, as you guys saw, we parsed all of our documents. You can have multiple documents, by the way, as well. And yeah, that's how it goes. So in the next video, we would be obviously creating embeddings from these chunks, and we would, if possible, we would also see how to store. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much.